James Wood, his Petco Park debut in a Nationals uniform. And of course, he did that. 3 hits. CJ Abrams, 3 hits. Josh Bell, the veteran slugger, homers. And the Nationals really dominate game 1. And now the Padres, like that Royals series, need to win the next 2 to win this series. We're here to react to it all, including the Juan Soto trade from August of 2022. So if you're here, subscribe. You know the deal. Year-round content for you. Smash the like button for us. You can follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. We appreciate your super chats. We really do. We're with you basically all year long, in season and out of season. If you support this channel, click the $ below the chat box. We'll get to all of your super chats on screen. We see the first of the night from No Mama, and we do appreciate that. We'll get to it momentarily. And if you want to become a member, get emojis and badges, you can click the $ down below. Stephen Kolek facing a lineup with 7 lefties. By the way, look at his numbers against left-handers. They're awful. The Nationals completely took advantage. And again, James Wood and CJ Abrams and Josh Bell and starting pitching, and not a good start to the series. I'm sure we'll dissect that trade from 3 years ago a lot here tonight. But the Nationals, who have really struggled, Jim, and that's putting it lightly. I mean, they've been as bad as anyone in baseball in June. They took 1 of 3 from the Dodgers, and they've taken the first game here from the Padres on this road trip.
James Wood and CJ Abrams tonight against the Padres. 6 total hits, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, 6 runs scored.
It's like the Kobe Shaq, like 0-1 memes.
Yeah, it's like the Shaq, getting a lob from Kobe and throwing it down over deadlift shrimp. I mean, might as well start there. I mean, it's the
only thing anyone cares about.
Right. It's the Juan Soto trade, right? It's the trade that will be talked about for the rest of eternity with this franchise until they win a World Series. Look, today on John and Jim, we both said we would have made the trade again. I still would have made that trade because I do think in the moment, going for it there, I applaud. I definitely do. The problem, though, with that is, and we also did talk about this at the time, and here's the problem. If you don't win a World Series with Juan Soto, this could blow up in your face of epic proportion. Like, that was a risk that AJ Preller was willing to take. And I think a lot of fans were willing to take because, for a franchise that's never won a World Series, and you say, we have an opportunity to get a top 5 player in the sport to go for it right now and have for the next 2.5 years, do you take it? And you know what everyone would say? 99% of people would say, yes, I would. So the hindsight game is always, okay, yeah, sure. You wouldn't have made the trade for Juan Soto back then, sure. But if I look at your social media timeline, you were going, crazy about the trade. But the big elephant in the room is the fact that making that trade, you had to at least, at minimum, get to a World Series. And you didn't. And not only did you not get to a World Series, you traded Soto after 1.5 years. And then the pieces you traded for Soto, which were a huge part of last year, didn't get you past the NLDS. So now the trade does feel worse the longer this goes on without the Padres, getting better or getting to a World Series.
I think it's a measured, level-headed take by you, and I agree. But let's just be clear about how these things work. And I'm already seeing the chat. I knew this would happen. I hated the trade in real time. I never liked the trade.
Right.
We were on the radio and on YouTube and doing 5 hours a day that summer. Everyone in glowing terms loved the trade. Okay. I remember leading up to the trade, everyone wanted them to make the trade. They said, move the farm, move heaven and earth to trade for Juan Soto. Now, you're right. We didn't know how it would turn out, but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. But here's the thing that people forget about baseball trades. This isn't necessarily the case like in basketball necessarily. The Padres were trading for then. They were trying to win in 2022 and 2023. The Nationals were trading for now. And by the way, they haven't won shit. Now they're positioned to maybe turn a corner with some of their core. That's undoubtable. They have young players like Gore, Abrams, Wood. Obviously, they also have to keep these players. We had the voice of the Nationals on today Dave Jaguar's like, they don't keep these players historically. So they're going to have to win in a window as well. I'm talking about Washington. They'll have a chance to do that. But like both teams got what they were seeking. The Nationals were seeking a long runway and a chance to turn a corner eventually. By the way, they haven't done it yet. So maybe it happens in 2026. The Padres were seeking a deep postseason run in 2022 and 2023. It didn't work out perfectly. There's no doubt about it. 2022 had really good moments. Soto was a part of some of them. He wasn't the lead horse on a team that made the National League Championship Series. He was a good player on a team that made the NLCS. And then, of course, 2023, the team fell on its face, despite the fact that Soto actually had a good year. So I don't fault it. I'm not going to do the revisionist history thing. I definitely understand looking at it through that lens and prism, especially now. Would you love to have James Wood in your lineup? I mean, that's not even the question. That's not the point. Would you like to have CJ Abrams in his future? Yeah. Is Mackenzie Gore someone that has a bright future as well in a rotation? Absolutely. But that's not really the point. Like, to make a big trade, it's going to hurt. They made a big trade, and it is potentially hurting right now. Even now, though, Jim, I'm not overly concerned today about what Washington has and San Diego doesn't. I still think San Diego, forget about that trade for a moment and think more about what the Padres need to do between now and like October of this year. Padres still can get in, still can improve. The Nationals still have their bright future. But I don't think that because they made that trade, they threw away a World Series in like 2026 or beyond. They were playing for a World Series in 2022 and 2023. You couldn't forecast 2026 and beyond. And because of that, I thought it was the right move. And I stick by that today.
I like thinking about comparisons here. Now, again, they're a long ways from doing what this team did, but the Nationals kind of a little bit. Whoa. Did you lose me?
Hi.
What the heck? Hold on. I remember my takes. Hold on. What is going on here?
Looking for the phone.
Yeah, I know. That's weird. Why did that do that? Anyway, the Nationals, you know who they remind me of a little bit, John? Is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Because what did the Thunder do years ago that nobody was really saying, man, Sam Presti, just what an amazing job. They traded away Paul George for like
all those
a million picks and Shea, and those picks all turned into like Chet and Jalen Will. Like that trade that Sam Presti did with Paul George kind of reminds me a lot of this Juan Soto deal in a lot of different ways. One, the Clippers were trying to win now. Now it blew up in their face. Didn't work. The combination of Paul George and Kawhi did not work. Padres were trying to win now. The combination of Juan Soto and Manny Machado, and that didn't work. Well, I mean, it worked in 2022. They made an LCS, but still, that wasn't the goal. The goal was not to make it to the NLCS. The goal was to win a World Series. So, I can applaud that they made it to the NLCS, but by no means was that the goal at all. And then it completely backfired in 2023. The team imploded in on itself. So I kind of like put those two trades like kind of similar in similar, regards. And, Sam Presti now looks like a freaking genius because he stayed the course. He didn't try any shortcuts. He had a plan, he had a vision, and he stuck to it. And now the Thunder are the best team in basketball, and they are on the verge of potentially winning multiple titles here. AJ Preller has no patience, which, again, I can relate to because I have none either. But he tried to win in the moment. I'm not going to say he took a shortcut, but by giving up every prospect in the organization, 1 through 6, to a team, that's a shortcutty route. I'm going to go and get one of the best players in baseball to try to win right now. Future be damned. And the Nationals said, okay, we're not even close. We're going to have a plan now, and we're going to build around the core that you give us. So that's kind of how I view it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I don't know if they were trying to shortcut their way to a title. I mean, they had home field in the NLCS in the 2022 postseason.
No, I'm not saying
they were favored to win the National League Championship Series in Las Vegas. So I don't think that's really shortcutty. Like and they didn't smoke and mirror their way to that point. I mean, they played well against the Dodgers. They played well enough against the Mets. Like I don't think they were really terribly far off. They ran into a better team. I mean, there's no question Philadelphia was better than San Diego. Undoubtedly, they were more clutch. Their pitching was better. So that's fair. I mean, the Padres pitching really let them down in the 2022 postseason. It was time to go for it. I mean, we've been waiting for 57 years. So, like, what are you going to, like, you want to be measured after 55 years and play that long game and take your, you want one lotto ticket that you can win $10 million, or you want 6 lotto tickets where you can win $1,000.
I get it.
Sometimes you got to play for the big win. And I thought he played for the big win. I think it's so easy today to, and you're not doing it, but I know a lot of people are. I think it's easy to discredit where we were in that moment of time in 2022. I really do feel that way. We were both in the ballpark the night that Juan Soto debuted in a Padres uniform. It was absurdly electric. The excitement for that team, the anticipation of what was possible for the next 2.5 years, and I know it didn't happen, but nobody could forecast the future. And also, I don't know if I can comp NBA to MLB because I don't know what the Nationals' future is. It might be bright, but I don't know if it's the brightest in the sport. I don't know if they're going to. Now, Mike Rizzo's won. He's a good GM. He's already won a World Series, so he's proven that he's capable of doing something like what he's trying to do right now. And I didn't know Oklahoma City was going to win either, but obviously they've played well the last 2 years. But again, I think it's too early to say that the Nationals' future is so bright that this trade is going to go down as this absurdly lopsided trade in the favor of the Nationals.
Now again, this all depend. Excuse me. This is all dependent on James Wood's career and CJ Abrams' career and Mackenzie Gore's career, obviously.
Yep.
But right now, those 3 guys look pretty damn good. I mean, if they weren't on such a shitty team, those are probably all all-star players. Maybe 2 of them this year.
2 of them will be. Yeah.
2 of them, So it's still TBD on obviously their careers. But I feel like as time continues to go on, if the Padres don't win a World Series and the Nationals continue to get better and better and these guys get better and better, I think the trade will be viewed as one of by not me and you, but I'm just saying I think it will be viewed as by majority as one of the worst trades ever.
I think there's way too much unknown to say that. And also in real time, it was a worthwhile move. So it's hard then to look at it 5 years down the lane. And everyone knows when you're trading for the now, it's always possible the team that gets the prospect return benefits later. But to go down as one of the worst trades ever,
the reason
is going to take a lot from the Washington Nationals.
Here's the reason why. Yes, if the Nationals, okay, here's my take. The reason why I think that it could be viewed that way is because if James Wood is a 10 to 15 year vet, a 9-10-time All-Star, maybe he wins an MVP, whatever, right? Helps the Nationals win. Maybe they don't win a World Series, but still, he is a 10 to 15 year player easily with the Nationals. Same with CJ Abrams and Mackenzie Gore, makes a couple All-Star teams. CJ Abrams makes a couple All-Star teams, right? Okay. You had Juan Soto for a year and a half.
Yeah, but now you're discounting what they spun off for Soto. You know what I mean? There's always tentacles. Like the Soto in turn brings you King, and then that deal ultimately,
and you're going to lose
King, tentacles to it.
And you lost Higgy.
Well, but again,
you didn't win a World Series.
I just think that it's we're a little too definitive today to be making these strong statements.
I'm just saying it could. That's how I feel. I'm just saying it could, and I feel like it has potential. I don't know how great that potential is. I'm just saying that there's at least a chance. There's a chance that this trade could be viewed as one of the worst all time.
Here's the other chance that James Wood is too good for the Nationals, and in 2.5 years, he demands a trade like Juan Soto did. I mean, he didn't demand it, but you know what I mean. He's got Scott Boras as an agent.
I know there's multiple ways we could go here. I'm just saying from there is also a chance of what I said to be true, which is just like how there's a chance of what you're saying to be true as well.
And there's also a chance that the Padres in the next 3 years make a run in the National League playoffs. Right. So I mean, I don't think based on what I saw tonight, I'm willing to now write off the Padres in 2025 and then say the Nationals have the brightest future in the sport. I think we're probably somewhere in the middle. I think the Nationals probably do have a bright future. That's why you're supposed to have a bright future when you trade Juan Soto. You're supposed to get built. If you don't get building block pieces back for Juan Soto, Mike Rizzo doesn't have a job. And if the Padres can't make the postseason consistently under AJ Preller with this payroll, AJ Preller doesn't have a job. So like both things are true. Right. Preller did what was right for his team in the time. Mike Rizzo did what was right for his team in the time. Now what happens now and moving forward? You're right. The Padres didn't check all the boxes in 2022 and 2023. Unquestionably, we all agree, but we've already seen it. That's in the past. Nobody knows what happens next. Are the Padres a playoff team in 2025 or are they not? That's a big part of the story. Are the Nationals a playoff team in 2026 or are they not? Same thing with 2027. So I'm with you. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not at all. A lot of it I agree with, but I think it's a little too early to make too strong of a statement. That's just, and again, I'm a James Wood fan. How could you not be? Mackenzie Gore has a bright future. CJ Abrams is a good player. I think Wood and Gore have a chance to be better players than Abrams. So we'll see, I guess. The jury is out, and I think that's at least a fair way to look at it as well.
Yeah, I am not at all, I see people in the chat, I'm not at all making a definitive statement about worst trade ever. I'm just saying that, there's a chance, right? There's a you know how many things in life that there's chances of happening? I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, it's true. And there's a chance they win the World Series, the Padres, this year.
Yeah, there's a chance the Nationals rip off 30 wins in a row.
True. But I mean, I think the chances of the Padres winning the World Series are probably greater than the Nationals winning 30 in a row. But I get your point. Let's get to some of these super chats again. It's not you. It's more the chat. It's so easy to be like, I hated the trade. We're screwed forever. This always happens to us. I'm like, well, okay. I mean, that's one way to look at it. Or you could take the more measured approach, which is they traded for Juan Soto. It's one of the biggest trades in the history of the sport. And the Padres really aren't necessarily screwed because of that. They might be screwed for other reasons. And then thirdly, like they could be a postseason team in 2025 and 2026 and 2027. I mean, we have no idea. So I just think there's a lot of strong statements, more from the chat and from fans. I get it. They lose to the Nationals in game one. It's been a bad 2 months by and large. They're just kind of going about their business and they're not playing inspired baseball. But I think it's too early to write off this team as well, based on what we're seeing right now. All right, let's get to some of these super chats. Guys, if you're here, subscribe. Over 500 people here live right now. Please subscribe. Year-round content for you. Smash the like button. Follow us on X. Thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. There's a lot to react to. All right, let's start with Stephen Kolek because of this super from No Mama who says Matt Waldron over Kolek. Kolek was really good for 3 innings, Jim, and then the wheels completely fell off. Again, 7 lefties in the lineup. Lefties, I think, are hitting around 300 against Kolek. The whip against lefties is 1.85 against Stephen Kolek. They loaded up their lineup with 7 left-handed batters. It paid off. I think Kolek's been good for this team, but we both have said Kolek, Vasquez, Berger, is that going to hold up over the course of the second half of the year? And that's probably asking a lot. We can't hear you.
Just look at his splits against lefties and righties. Stephen Kolek kind of had a feeling tonight that if he pitches a good game against lefties, that percentage chance of that happening, not the highest. I mean, the Nationals just went lefty. I mean, it was just like 7 straight lefties in this lineup tonight for the Nationals. And Stephen Kolek, Ben didn't break, and then that 4-run inning there just got to him. I'm not going to say Waldron over Kolek. I think Kolek has done a nice job for this team. But you can't have him be pulled with, all the time in the 5th inning. They threw 80 pitches. I mean, if I just go back here and look at his starts, all right? So, all right. Here's his last 6 starts, which actually they've been good. I mean, I'm just looking at innings, right? 4 and
Mhm.
4 and a third tonight. June 18th, his last start. 6 and a third. That was against the Dodgers, right? Yeah, 6 and a third. That was good.
Yeah.
Then June 13th, 4 and a third. June 7th, 5 and 2/3. June 2nd, 5 and 2/3. So, I mean, really, he's
Mhm.
actually done a nice job here, as far as giving you innings. And truthfully, I don't have a problem with him, other
Yeah.
than sometimes if you take him out in the 5th inning there, that's going to hurt your bullpen, and hopefully you can score some runs, which again they didn't tonight.
Yeah, and I saw there was criticism of the way that Schilt managed his bullpen here tonight, but you got to be careful to like overreact to like what decisions are being made with the bullpen when you're trailing by 3, 4, or 5 runs. As in the decisions that you're making aren't typically the difference between winning and losing. Because the odds of winning the later you get, trailing by 3, 4, or 5 runs, the data suggests you're not going to win at a high clip, trailing by 3, 4, or 5 runs. So the idea that, oh, well, David Morgan came out in a 3-run game and then it was a 5-run game. Well, you were still trailing by 3. But John, they scored 3 runs in the 9th inning. Yeah, against a mop-up reliever that wouldn't have been in the game if it was a 3 or 4-run game. So I just think there's a little bit of and it's one thing to overanalyze with a small lead, a 1 to 3 run lead. When you're trailing by 3 or more runs, I mean, it's hard to be overly critical of the decisions they make with their bullpen because you're thinking about the next day a lot in that spot. You're not waving flags. You're not pitching Kike Hernandez, but you're also not trying to use your highest leverage relievers and trying to burn guys for multiple days either.
Tonight, it's like a light bulb. I found what Mike Schilt is better than any manager in baseball is, and by a lot. Mike Schilt is elite at this one thing, better than any manager in baseball, and it's not even close. Mike Schilt, there's nobody like him that can spin a 10-6 loss like Mike Schilt. Nobody. Mike Schilt, no one holds a candle to this guy's and his spin job. His spin jobs of bad losses is really it is amazing how great he is at spinning a 10-6 loss. It's just, I mean, just it's brilliant job, masterful of a spin job by Mike Schilt.
Yeah, battled in the 9th, and Kolek was really good first time through, and you got to love the way this team fights. And it's not about it's about winning and losing, but it's more than just the final score and all this BS. I heard the whole thing that they had on Padres.tv. I agree with that. We get it. You're in the corner of the Padres. You don't have to every night over 200 consecutive nights prove that point. Sometimes you just got to say, you know what? We didn't expect, we didn't play well, and we need to now bounce back and win the next 2 days because we need to win home series. We need to win series in general. But when we're playing lesser teams in the National League, we need to win those series. In fact, there was an expectation from some coming in that the Padres would sweep this series. Now it's go out and win this series.
I see it in the chat. Would you rather have a manager that's negative all the time? Did I say that?
It's not negative. It's just like he's unrealistically, like it's unbelievably positive, as in not believable, not unbelievable. Like what an unbelievable catch. Like it's not believable. Some of the things that he says. So it's disingenuous to a fan base that is supporting him at the turnstiles 3.5 million, or whatever the numbers.
Every player in that clubhouse knows Mike Schilt has his back no matter what. And they buy into it. So again, at the end of the day, that's kind of really all that matters. Like who gives a shit what we all think, but still, anytime Mike Schilt speaks about losses really anytime it's kind of just like it's like disingenuous. Like we don't believe you, Mike. Like Mike, we know you're bullshitting right now to try to save face with players in that clubhouse. Like we read right through you, buddy. You can't bullshit a bullshitter. And I'm the biggest
it's not
bullshitter on the
necessary.
planet.
It's just not necessary because he's proven the point over and over and over again. At some point, you just need to have a night where you're a little more honest with those that are basically with like the fan base. I mean, the clubhouse is already aware of your true feelings about the team. So you're not really speaking directly through the media to the clubhouse. You're doing that directly in the clubhouse. You've made it clear, and you've made it clear through the media as well. Sometimes you just need to say we got our ass handed to us and we need to be better tomorrow because we're at the midway point of the season and they need to play better.
Yeah. And nobody believes you, Mike. No one's taking you seriously, like at all. And again, no player is watching your post-game press conferences on Padres.tv either.
No, they're not. Let's get to some of these super chats. Let's get to this one from LLM213. Thank you guys. Please subscribe and thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. We do need to tell you about our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance momentarily, but he says, does Preller have the farm to get 4 or 5 players? And you're talking about obviously at the deadline. It's not about the quantity. He can get as many players as he wants. It's about the quality of the player. I mean, you could certainly acquire, mid-tier bullpen arms, back-end rotation pieces, bench bats. Of course you can within your system. All systems have top 30 prospects, right? They have a top 12 prospect. They have a top 10 prospect. So they have players that they can include in deals. So he could absolutely get 4 or 5 players. The question for me, Jim, is how many impactful pieces can he get at the deadline going up against other buyers? Because if there's 15 buyers, and let's say there's the 50 players that move, are you getting the top 10% of the players that are moving, or are you getting the middle 50% or the middle 10% of the players that are moving? So yeah, he can get players, but I don't know the quality of the player he can get based on their financial issues and based on their system as a whole. That's going to play out over the next month.
Yeah, they put up 6 runs tonight. 3 of those came in, garbage time in the 9th inning. Still, anytime Tatis hits a home run, it's a good thing because look, he went like a 22-game stretch without hitting a home run. So if this means he's now on a hot streak where he's going to hit a home run every other game, like
good,
awesome. But that's not shy away from the fact that this team barely put up, they scratched and clawed to get 3 runs on the board up until the 9th inning tonight against some random lefty with like almost a 5 ERA.
Mm-hmm.
The new look lineup, right? Last 2 days, it's not been great. And this team needs to figure out a way to put up more runs on the board consistently. Because if they don't put up at least 4.5 runs a game here, like the rest of the way, it's going to be a problem. And for all of the run differential geeks out there, you want to know what the Padres run differential is right now, John?
What is it, like plus 20 maybe?
Plus 21. They have scored 331 runs and they've given up 310 runs. Now, they have scored 1 less run than the Giants' anemic offense this year. But the difference is the Giants have only given up 286 runs. Their run differential is plus 46. Now, again, run differential is not an end-all, be-all. We had that conversation in 2023 ad nauseum. Like, oh, their run differential is great. It's like they fucking sucked. Stop. But this team not being able to score runs at a consistent clip is a problem. And it's not a small sample size. It is a big one. And going forward, they're going to have to play better, a lot better offensively, because their pitching is not at an elite level. They have too many injuries. They've used their bullpen way too much, and they can't score runs. And that's going to come back to bite them in the ass in a big way if they can't start hitting the ball better.
Really good point from Faulty Spork as well, who reminds us that the Padres had a 21-0 win this year, and their run differential is 21. So throw out a Colorado game.
Oh, that's right.
And the Padres have been dead even with their opponents through every other game this year. We're going to get back to the super chats. Please subscribe. We appreciate your support of the channel. Click the $ below the chat box. If you support this channel, please support our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. No matter what your needs are, Mark will take care of you. Trust us. We do business with Mark. We have for 4 years. I have 3 insurance policies through Mark: life, homeowners, earthquake. You can as well. He does auto, condo, renters, whatever it is. Click the link in the description down below. He's a great insurance agent. Take it from us. He's going to save you money. In addition, he's got great service and communication. I had to file a claim a couple of years ago. He saved us thousands of dollars and dozens of hours of time. If you support this channel, Mark is a San Diegan, lifelong Padres fan. Please get in contact with Mark Nimitz. If you support this channel, click that link in the description down below, get free quotes, or call him. He'll talk to you about the Padres. He'll talk to you about saving money on your insurance. But again, our title sponsor is Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance.
Yeah, all this information is at that ticker below there, mnimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to Mark, let him know that John and Jim from the wrap-up show sent you.
Ballpark Pretzel, thank you. Again, I get the reaction. I think some of it's overreaction. Like he says, fire AJ. Worse, Soto trade or keeping Snell hater. I mean, again, some of it also has to do with the organization. Like, to put it all on the GM, like we've talked before about Peter Seidler's desire to sign Xander Bogaerts, for one. And there's been other moves that are dictated by money, financials, ownership, all that as well. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. We advocated for them to move Snell and Hader. They didn't. Okay. We advocated for the Soto trade. They did. You know what I mean? Okay. But firing AJ in the middle of the year accomplishes nothing. He's going nowhere, by the way. I don't think he's going anywhere if they don't make the postseason in 2025. So I don't think it's realistic, and I don't think he's going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. But it doesn't take away from the fact that, like, even though they're not playing good baseball right now and they're just like blah and as mid as it gets, this year is still on June 23rd so important. Like, so important.
Agreed.
They decided to go for it. They decided to keep King and Cease and Arise and Suarez, right? Like they actually added to the payroll. They added with the signing of Nick Pivetta. And so they decided they'd made a conscious effort, which I agree upon, and I was fully for, is that, hey, we're going to go for it because we got a lot of free agents coming up, some key players that we're probably not going to re-sign. So while we have our guys in their prime, let's go for it now. And they're going for it. I applaud him. They're in the middle of going for it right now, which I applaud and I love. But like, yo, if this doesn't turn out the way that everyone wants it to turn out, I'm not saying like it has to end with the World Series. Like, well, I mean, that obviously is the main goal, but at least you have to make the postseason again. At least, at minimum, you have to make the postseason again, and you try to, see what you got in the postseason. But yo, if it doesn't end with that, this season will be, I mean, is equally in my mind as bad as the 2023 season. Even though the 2023 season was just a shit show, fire, it is awful.
Yeah, I mean, it would be incredibly disappointing if they don't make the postseason in 2025. I don't think it would cost Preller his job. I don't think it would be the same way as 2023, but it's possible. It depends on what their final record is, what it takes to get in. I mean, it's possible. But again, it's hard to know. But yeah, I mean, the expectation is to get in. I mean, nobody's doubting that. They need to get into the postseason. I think they'll position themselves at the deadline as if they're planning to get into the postseason. And what are they? A game out of a playoff spot right now? I mean, there's 80 games to be played. Doesn't mean they're going to make it. Doesn't mean they won't make it. But I think we also have to remember a year ago they weren't even playing as well as they've played to this point. Now, again, they played unbelievably down the stretch. We have no clue if this team is going to be good down the stretch. They're still, a handful of games over 500 right now, which is better position than they were a year ago when they were at 500 or maybe even like a game or two under 500 on this exact date. So we'll see what happens, but I'm with you. They need to make the postseason, and there's still a chance, obviously, they can do that. Talon, thank you. He says, let's be real, 0% chance Padres can go deep in the playoffs. We'll be lucky to make the playoffs. They're screwed as far as being elite team for many years. I never agree with the like hot take, you can't go deep in the playoffs, but you can make the playoffs in baseball. Because I think there's some dumb luck in there. I think you can be a 6 seed and win a series. I think you'd be a 5 seed and win 2 or 3 series. So I don't agree with that take. The thing that I would tend to agree with is like, can they get to the postseason? Like that's the biggest question for me. It's not can they win a series or 2 in the postseason. It's can they get to the postseason? That's the way bigger question for me.
Yeah, can they get to the postseason? They are so far away from that. Of course, the postseason started today. Guess what? They're not in it. But it doesn't start today, thankfully. And there's a lot of ifs and with this whole thing. If Michael King is healthy, if he's not healthy, that's a huge piece of the puzzle here. Michael King is everything with this team going forward. I mean, if they do not have a healthy Michael King, you're right, Talon. there's no shot, close to no shot, unless Pivetta and Cease turn into like unhittable pitchers and their bullpen becomes historic and their offense decides that they're going to score runs now.
Mm-hmm.
Like Michael King and Yu Darvish are huge pieces to this puzzle.
Huge, massive.
So
yeah, completely agree.
And
let's
tonight,
get to the next super.
And tonight, it just shows that like the more you use your bullpen every single night, you're gonna get burned like this.
Yeah, I mean they weren't. I think that they've had some comebacks. I mean, they've overcome some deficits, obviously. I mean, even yesterday, they came back from 2 runs. I think down 4-0 today. I still had hope. Machado homers, it's 4-1. It's that bad Nats bullpen. You're thinking they didn't go to it until the 7th inning. Their starter threw a season high in terms of pitches. But, you go down 6-1, and then you're just – the odds of you winning that game, no matter how bad the opponent is, are incredibly low. And that was proven once again here tonight. That's how the sport works, unfortunately. Chucky D, thank you. He says, is there a wrap-up show drinking game? And if not, what is a catchphrase for each of you that gets you a drink? P.S. Love both Juan Soto trades. Interesting. We say a lot of things a lot. There's a lot of cliches. You could kill yourself with a lot of things that we say if you took a drink every time we said them. So we don't advise you to do that.
No, we won't even say it because then it's going to be stuck on our mind, and then we're not going to say it, and it's going to throw us all off.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. But thank you, Chucky D, for the super. Nick, appreciate you. He says, does the Soto trade affect your view on potentially buying this year? Also, Soto trade was absolutely connected to Peter's health at the time. There's that component potentially. We don't know if that's the case or not. Does it affect your view, though, on potentially buying? As in, because you gave up your farm in 2022 and you're seeing the potential ramifications of that, does that make you more hesitant to give up your farm in 2025? Not me. I mean,
but
you have to ask yourself, what gives your team at the major league level a chance to win a World Series?
The Juan Soto trade is such an outlier from like every trade in the history of the sport. I mean, how many times have we seen that trade go down where you trade for a Hall of Fame player? Right. And at the time, I mean, Josh Bell, I think, like, was a really good player too. I mean, he's a former All-Star. But like, you trade for a Hall of Fame player, you get another just All-Star thrown in the deal in Josh Bell, and you trade away your number 1, your number 2, your number 3, your number 4, and like your number 6 prospect in your organization. Like, that doesn't happen.
No, it's ever. Rare. And for a player with 2.5 years of control that's heading to the Hall of Fame, that's unprecedented as well.
Exactly. And you kind of know there's a 95% chance he's not re-signing with us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 2.5 years felt good in the time, and it ends up being 1.5 years.
And also, I really, and I see this narrative from Nick, like, can we not throw everything and blame things on Peter's health for why those things happened? Like, that's not how a good organization is run. Is like, our owner is ill and, we need to win a one while he's still alive. So let's blow up our future, or at least that's you know what I mean? Like, no, that's not how this went down, where they're like, hey, Peter's not feeling well. We need to trade everybody to try to win right now. No, the thought process was we want to win right now. Like that was it. Not Peter's health or this and that,
Sure.
Now, again, if you want to throw the narrative out there with signing Xander Bogaerts, but again, I don't think Peter or his family, which is well documented at the time, I don't think anybody thought that Peter was going to fall deathly ill and then pass away that offseason. Like, even at the trade deadline, I mean,
there was a lot of time. We're the timeline here is getting very confused because the timeline doesn't match up. I mean, Peter was not, to the best of our knowledge, based on what has been spoken about publicly and reported on, Peter was not in poor health during any of these periods of time that we're discussing right now. That it would include the Juan Soto trade or the Xander Bogaerts signing at the San Diego Winter Meetings. So
it was not connected, guys. So don't put that out.
I don't see that connection. JD's third, thank you, man. He says Gore's start will be a loss. Just don't get swept. I mean, a home sweep at the hands of Washington would be an absolute, disaster, clearly. But Mackenzie Gore, it's a fair point. I mean, Mackenzie Gore, other than his record, has had a great year. Now, that means the Nationals haven't been a good team, but he has had a great year, all-star caliber. Dave Jagler, I think, said he leads the National League right now in strikeouts. So, I mean, fully capable, obviously, of winning on Wednesday. And, yeah, that does put more of an emphasis on tomorrow. There's no question about it.
Yeah, absolutely, because this team, saw what happened against the lefty tonight, and this guy stinks, and they just couldn't do anything about it. I mean, Manny had the home run there, which was great, but other than that, nah. Now, Jake did have a home run as well.
Yep.
But was that
off the lefty?
Yeah, it was. Crazy. But still, I mean, you put up 3 runs until the 9th inning when you were down 10-3. Like,
yeah, and you hit a 2-out home run in the 9th.
You got to be better than that.
Yep, I agree. JD Gaucho, thank you, man. Appreciate the super. Guys, if you're here, subscribe. If you're here, thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. He says, I felt the Padres should have rolled the dice in 2024 and retained Soto. We felt the same way in real time, by the way, to give it another shot in October before he walked away in free agency. Now, I don't think they make a deep run if they do that. I think they could have absolutely made the postseason if they tried again. I don't think they would have been well positioned. They wouldn't have had Michael King in that scenario. We don't know if they would have had the ceases and the arises. Maybe they would have. Maybe they would not have. But I advocated for it in real time. They probably put themselves in a better situation overall by moving him, at least in the short term. But I get that argument. I think there's a world where Juan Soto goes ballistic in 2024, and that catapults the Padres to a good year.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, right? They needed pitching. Michael King was a huge reason why they won 93 games.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Every move AJ made last year worked beautifully. Again, it's weird to say, but where the team have been without Kyle Higashioka.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Randy Vasquez is helping the team out this year. Didn't help the team out last year, but the 2 main pieces last year were Higgy and Michael King, and then you also used Drew Thorpe to get Dylan Cease. So it's going to look even worse once King and Cease both walk for nothing.
Are gone, yeah.
So I would behoove them to try to still re-sign Michael King to a long-term contract to make the trade actually stick. Because if you sign Michael King to a long-term contract, this is a big if he doesn't sleep wrong ever again, and he's healthy and he pitches well for you for the next 4 or 5 years, then the Juan Soto trade that we've talked a lot about tonight for, it lessens the blow of that, because you can just go right to, hey, we got Michael King and he's an all-star and blah, blah, blah. But again, he's got to stay healthy. And the big if is if you sign him, which I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. And now you have to, you might want to be cautious. We don't know what's playing out right now with Michael King. We have to see him back at the field looking like the pitcher that he was prior to this injury. Dylan, thank you for the super. Says, I don't know how Diaz was All-Star Game MVP 2 years ago looks washed. Well, the All-Star Game is irrelevant. So, anyone could be the All-Star Game MVP. It's one game, right? Just like Martin Maldonado in any one game could have 2 hits, or in any one game, Trenton Brooks could have 2 home runs. Anything's possible in one game, or 2 at-bats, or 3 at-bats. So we knew that Diaz wasn't Higashioka. We knew Martin Maldonado wasn't capable of playing over 162. We knew these things. They've been true over the course of the start of this year. The All-Star Game MVP to me doesn't hold any weight. If he was an actual MVP or did it over the course of a season, okay. But the All-Star Game MVP to me doesn't hold much water.
No, anybody could hit a home run in a random exhibition game.
Right.
And yes, Elias Diaz is completely washed. He's not a good catcher. Neither is Martin Maldonado. So there you go. I want to looking at Diaz's numbers in his career here, right? So I'm pretty sure it was with one player making it from each team.
Yeah. And his first half in Colorado, I'm sure he had a nice offensive year because he's a catcher in Colorado.
Did he make it in 2023? Was that the year he made it?
It was 2023.
Okay.
Or was it 2022? It was 22 or 23.
It had to be 23 because he was way better in 23 than 22.
Yep, it was 23.
Okay, 23. He played 141 games for Colorado. He had 14 home runs, 72 RBIs, He hit 267 with a 725 OPS.
He's not going to do that here.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
he's no big dumper either. He's no Cal Raleigh. No one's Cal Raleigh.
No, he's not even close. I'm curious what he did in the first half that year. I want to see his numbers. In the first half that year, he had a 763 OPS. He had 45 RBIs in 80 games at the All-Star break. And then he was terrible.
He had to have been the only Rockies All-Star, right? Like,
had to, man.
It was like
15 doubles, a triple, and 9 homers in the first half. I mean, give me a break. It's
like every bad team in baseball gets a Make-A-Wish pick, and he was a Make-A-Wish pick for the All-Star team.
I mean, he was like quasi-deserving, probably based on catcher statistics would be my guess because he played for Colorado. JD's third, thank you. He says 3 home runs tonight is a positive, not enough though. I mean, their slug has been bad. We talked about today. I think 23rd in baseball in slug coming in, 27th in home runs. So 3 home runs is rare, and 3-run home runs are even more rare. They hit another one of those, albeit down 10-3. But Tatis has hit 2 3-run home runs his last 3 games. That is encouraging. So some RBIs and run production from Tatis. 3 home runs is a huge number for the Padres this year. But again, how many times have I said this, Jim? They've had those weird games this year where they hit 2 home runs and they lose. Tonight they hit, like, you hit 3 home runs against the Washington Nationals. If I told anyone in the right mind before the game, Padres are hitting 3 home runs tonight, would anyone think they'd lose? Is there any world where the Padres hit 3 home runs at home against the Washington Nationals and lose? No, you'd think they'd win by 5 runs or more. And they lost a game by 5 runs or 4 runs or whatever it was. So, like, that's weird. Like, hitting 3 home runs and losing is not, like, that's not encouraging. Like, every time you hit 3 home runs, which is like twice a year, you should win.
Yeah, if I was like, hey, they hit 3 home runs tonight. One of them is a 3-run homer by Fernando Tatis Jr. They score 6 runs. Do they win tonight? I go, yeah, they win like 6-2. It's like, no, they get blown out, and it looks the score does not show what the actual game was.
Yeah, this thing was 10-3 or whatever it was heading into
2 outs.
Right, exactly. Mr. Gordy Sexy, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Guys, we're going to get back to the conversation in a moment. We do want to remind our viewers about our friends over at SeatGeek. Make sure to use the promo code. That promo code is PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. If you use it for our viewers, you're getting $20 off your first order of $50 or more at SeatGeek. You heard me right. $20 off your first purchase with promo code PADSWRAP. Just click the link in the description down below. Download the app. Have the code automatically added to your account. You can use it later. We do want to thank our friends over at SeatGeek. You can get in tomorrow. Now, this is the night after the Toddy bat flip. By the way, Toddy homering on his bat flip night, but in a loss.
No one cared.
Bobblehead bat flip night in a loss with nobody there in the end. You can get in tomorrow for $27, folks. Ooh. I mean, you get in for, you get $30 and you can sit in pretty decent seats for $40, $50 tomorrow. And you can take $20 off. Those prices include fees, by the way. So 2 tickets at $30 is $60. Take $20 off. You're in for $40, 2 tickets. Entertainment downtown, Tuesday night, Padres Nationals. So take advantage of that offer. Use the promo code PADSWRAP. Click the link in the description down below.
Yeah, and with SeatGeek being MLB's official ticket marketplace, your tickets, they're fully guaranteed and instantly fulfilled in your account after purchase. Just use our promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP.
All right. I feel like there's some things that have been going on over the course of the last 24 hours, one of which is Michael King has begun this throwing program, and he threw on field today.
Okay.
What his timeline is completely remains to be seen, obviously. Yu Darvish, I have no idea what the plan is with Yu Darvish.
No idea.
So King and Darvish are obviously both after All-Star break conversations for the Padres. There are 18 games remaining in the first half for San Diego. Also, by the way, Fernando Tatis Jr. filed a lawsuit today against Big League Advance, the company that gave him $2 million when he was a minor league player in exchange for $34 million, or 10% of his future earnings, which became the range of $40 million plus. So he got 2 and gave up 34, which is a bad financial decision. He's now asking for monetary damages in court from Big League Advance. Interesting, something to keep an eye on moving forward. But the bigger story, obviously, is Michael King and Yu Darvish. King throwing, Jim, for the first time basically since that pinched nerve in hopes of returning at some point after the All-Star break. a complete must, basically a prerequisite for the Padres is Michael King's return and Michael King looking like Michael King in the second half.
I mean, well, they're not even close to having him return. That's the thing.
No way.
I mean, it is a good step. At least he's throwing, right? It'd be bad if he still hasn't thrown anything yet. Then I'd be like, and I still am, but if he hadn't thrown yet, I would be like, this is awful, guys. I mean, it's still bad, but hopefully this is like a step in the right direction. And, I think going forward, Michael King is definitely the number one player to keep your eye on as far as injuries go with this Padres team. Like this season kind of feels like it hinges on Michael King and his recovery. The thing, though, is it won't matter if this team's offense doesn't pick it the F up.
Yeah, it's like both things are true. They need King and they need the offense, which means they have multiple needs. And I also stick by, again, if you're waiting on the trade deadline, Padres fans, to kind of save the season or like save this team, I think that's wishful. I've always felt that way about trade deadlines. I think that the best way to utilize them is to already have like a definitive playoff team, like to be fully all in. If you're 7 games up in a playoff spot or 6 games up in your division or whatever it is, you know where you're heading. But when you're teetering and you're using the deadline as something to get you over the finish line, it's possible, but it's far from a guarantee. And you're going to give up resources in your system to potentially chase something down over 60 games, and you better then get to the spot you want to get to. And I don't know if they're a Taylor Ward away or a number 5 starter away or a bench piece away or a reliever away. Maybe they are, but it's just something to consider here in the weeks ahead. I think ultimately they're not selling. It'll be interesting to see what level they're buying at based on where they are. Again, I think if they're 5 games up in a playoff spot, they buy heavier. I think if they're 1 game out of a playoff spot, they're going to be more conservative in their actions at the deadline, would be my guess.
Because what the team did last year at the deadline, that's how you want to feel going into the deadline, where they ripped off like 9 in a row, right? Or 8 in a row on the road. They had like an 8-2 road trip, if I'm not mistaken. And
they lost the first game and then won 8 of the next 9 or 8 in a row.
Yeah. And they won 8 in a row. And I think that was also the Michael King, or not Michael King, the Dylan Cease no-hitter, like
in Washington.
And then they came home and they also played really well. And then boom, trade deadline. So they're leading up to the deadline there. I think they were like 10-2 or something crazy.
Yeah. So you're playing great. You have a good feel.
And it's not just a, hey, let's see how we do in this weekend series before the deadline, and then we'll make a decision like they did in 2023, which was it was so stupid. But they played a good stretch of baseball, and leading into the deadline, it's like, all right, we're doing this, right? And it all clicked. And then August was the month that they just took off like a rocket ship. Now, can this team afford to do that again and afford to bank on a second half shilty magical run? I don't think so, because we've seen already, lightning in the bottle rarely strikes twice. And we thought, or not we, but people thought like, oh, the Jason Hayward signing, they signed Jerkson Profile last year to $1 million deal. This will be good again because AJ did it last year. They DFA'd Jason Hayward. Like, oh, the catching spot, this would be good. Look what they did with Higgy. Their catchers are awful. Like, oh, Jose Iglesias, just like Donovan Solano. He's like average at best, and that's being kind. So there are some things that have worked. Nick Pivetta and Gavin Sheets, absolutely. But it's so hard to hit on everything, and it's so hard to like just say to yourself, you know what? As long as we just get like 50 and 50, or at least just be around 500, we're going to play 680 ball for 2 months and we'll be fine. Like, no, you have to play better than that, because that shit last year, that's never happened in franchise history before. So to expect it to happen the back-to-back years, that's, man, wishful thinking, man.
Yeah, I mean, at 42 and 36, you just start doing like the math on it. That's 78 games. So you got 84 remaining to get to 90. Doing the math, I mean, you got to go 48. You have to win 48 games of your remaining 84. So that's what, 48 and 36. I mean, that's really good baseball. The way they've
Yeah.
played. I mean, to close 48 and 36 for this team right now, I mean, everyone would take it. There's not anyone that shouldn't take that. And that gets you to 90, which likely gets you where you need to get. But that's going to take real good play. I mean, consistent play from this team that we have not seen for months on end. I can't believe we're having that conversation. The 14-3 start, and from there, very mid, like the 18th best team in the sport. I mean, I'm making it up, but from that moment on, they were 11 over, and now they're 6 over. I mean, they've played poorly. They're 5 under for the last 2 months, and now we're asking them to basically close by playing 12 over in the second half of the year. Can they do it? Of course they can. It takes a 14-3 stretch, maybe, or it takes a good week. You go 6-1 over the course of a week. We just haven't seen it for such a long period of time that the longer you're removed from seeing them play at a good clip, the more you're wondering, are they capable of playing at that clip again? And you're now competing against teams like the Giants that are going for it. And certain teams are already there, like LA. And you see other teams that are like surprisingly there, like St. Louis or Cincinnati or even Atlanta. Are they fully out of it? Would it be overly shocking if Atlanta played well in the second half of the year? You just add all this stuff up. And I mean, the path to the postseason is definitely there, but it's like a narrower path than anyone expected 2 weeks into the season. That's for sure.
Yeah, I just want to caution fans on a couple things. One, the splashy, team saving move at the deadline. Like, probably don't bank on that. And number two, if they don't pick it up here and play better baseball, the 46 and whatever it was to end the season last year, like those two things, guys, I'm sorry. They don't, not only do they not happen often, but if they do happen, rarely do you see it in back-to-back years where it's like the team is mid and then boom, they're just rocket ship. That, hey, second half Schilt, okay, if he does it again, I will eat my words, but it's just a tough thing to bank on, right? That's such a tough thing to bank on year after year.
I mean, what were they, 43 and 19 in their last 62?
Something like that, yeah.
If that replicates again, then give Schilt a 6-year extension.
Seriously.
I mean, if they actually did that and went 43 and 19, then keep him here through the decade, obviously.
Never fire him, even though his press conferences are the worst, craziest things on the planet.
And Preller too. I mean, extend everyone. If they can close like that and lightning in a bottle twice. But again, we're a long way from there. And we're a long way from this team being in the postseason, truthfully, as well, based on where they are right now. Let's get back to this conversation. Do want to thank our friends over at Mova Globes who have been with us for the last couple of seasons. If you're looking for a great gift idea for a baseball fan in your life, pick up this officially licensed product through Major League Baseball, a Mova Globe. They have all 30 teams. That would include the Padres, the Nationals, and the other 28 teams. Great products. No cords, no wires, no batteries. They spin automatically with artificial or natural light. Companies based in San Diego, technology from North County here, Cardiff by the sea. So pick one of these puppies up. Great gift idea. Perfect for a home or work office. Get 10% off, by the way. Use promo code PWS10. Click the link in the description down below. Get 10% off with promo code PWS10.
Look, I'm going to throw like here we go. Fast, the grip, the slider grip like this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. Pick up a Mobile Globe today. If you're a Padres fan, it's a great collector's item. If you're not a Padres fan, you love watching us because, you like to hate watch our channel, but never be seen in the chat. Totally fine. They have your favorite team's Mobile Globe as well. Click the link in the description below. Use our promo code PWS10. Pick up a Mobile Globe today.
Who's pitching tomorrow?
You're pitching tomorrow, John.
Am I?
No, I believe it's either Bergert.
It is Trevor Williams, Ryan Bergert, then Mackenzie Gore, TBD.
Do you think TBD's had a nice year, right?
Yeah, he's pitched well. And by the way, we're going up against back-to-back old friends in Mackenzie Gore on Wednesday and then Nick Martinez in Cincinnati Friday.
Oh, great. Great.
So,
Now,
I mean, I circle this. I mean, Trevor Williams is 3-8 with a 5.54. Ryan Bergert, again, we haven't seen a ton of him, but he's been very good. And then you do have Gore, who's been one of the better pitchers in the National League. Like, I'm not the must-win guy. I'm really not. Like, I'm not calling tomorrow a must-win, but go win the game. Like, for everyone's sanity, you're going to be a minus 250 favorite tomorrow. Win the game. Simple as that. Like, that's not the game to go throw away. And James Wood hit 2 more home runs, and we're going to talk about that for another 2 hours. So just win tomorrow because you basically are put in a spot that you're facing Gore on Wednesday. And it's a good point from earlier in the chat. I mean, you just need to win tomorrow.
in kind of, sneaky tough stretch here, would you say?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
You face Gore on Wednesday. You then go on a 6-game road trip. For anybody out there that's like, oh, the Reds suck. The Reds are 41-38. The Padres are 42-36. All right.
Yeah,
so every Padres fan has no room to say the Reds suck. Okay. All right. So then you go to Philadelphia, and Philly's leading the East right now.
Both teams are good at home. Not surprising. Philadelphia's 26-14 at home. Cincinnati's a very respectable 21-17 at home. So, like, you combine that up, you're talking about, a really good winning percentage combined between Cincinnati and Philadelphia, which puts more of an emphasis on tomorrow.
Well, I believe the Reds are not going to be there at the end of the season. Well, you're not facing the Reds at the end of the season. You're facing the Reds right now, and they're playing really good baseball right now for their standard. They're playing good baseball. They're keeping their head above water. Now, will it stick? Probably not. But still, not going to be some easy test in Cincinnati this weekend, nor will it be easy at all in Philadelphia next week. So, like, these next 2 games are so important. They're so important. You can't have a 6-game homestand against 2 losing teams. Royals have a losing record, right?
The Royals have been 500 or a game under. I think they're a game under after yesterday.
You did your job against Kansas City, and Washington has come in. And how many games did they lose? Like 11 in a row? So, yeah, these next 2 games are like really important.
Yeah, like this is the stretch where they did it against Kansas City where they won the final 2 games of the series. They have to do it again. It just feels like, again, is it a must? Is it an absolute? Okay, maybe that's getting ahead of ourselves. We're still technically in the first half of the year at 78 games in, but you got to turn it on here and treat this like it really does matter. Use that home field advantage and take advantage of having Washington at home. I mean, they dominated the Nationals last year, San Diego. That's not last year, but they utterly dominated. 6 wins in 6 tries. The back and forth tit for tat, Padres getting last laughs everywhere. Profar this, cease no hitter that. Not tonight. Different Nationals team, right? But again, the Nationals are very similar in record to what they ultimately were a year ago. This is not a good team, so go find a way. And I'm sure the Nationals are motivated with Wood and Abrams and Gore and their poor play in general. I'm sure they've come in. You don't play in front of 45,000 people and be former Padres or former Padres farmhands and just try to roll over. Like, that's not the goal. These are major leaguers, so hopefully the Padres can bounce back and respond.
Like, thinking about it this way. Last year they went 6-0 against the Washington Nationals, correct?
Yep.
Say they instead went 3-3 against the Nats. Guess what? They don't make the postseason.
You're saying last year, yeah.
Yeah. Like, just 3-3. I think they're out, right?
How many games? I was going to say, how many games did they make it by? I don't know.
Well, they won 93 games. You know what? I think it would have gone down to the final game of the season or one of the final games of the season because I think the D-backs were also, they won 89 games.
So they would have been in if they won 89. They won 89.
Okay.
But yeah, it would have come down to like the final day.
Yeah. My point is, if you just went 3-3 against Washington last year, then the Padres are like, making it barely by the skin of their teeth to the postseason. Maybe.
Oh, Arizona was out last year?
Arizona was out last year.
Oh, well, then we have to compare to the last team in. Who was the last team in?
The Mets.
Oh, the Mets are the last team in with 89
The
wins
Mets
as well.
Okay, so the Mets 89 wins.
Yep.
Okay. So again, my point is still like you just go 3-3 against the Nationals last year. Things are different because it's all just bunched up together, and who knows?
Completely. And hopefully they play better than 3-3 against the Nationals this year. Because you know what happens. You look at the end of the year and it's any number of games. There's the reason why you're in or you're out. Guys, play along with us over at Underdog Fantasy. The best and easiest place to play fantasy sports is Underdog. If you use promo code PODSWRAP, that is PADSWRAP, you're getting a 50% deposit match plus a free gimme pick. What does a free gimme pick look like? It looks like in Major League Baseball, you can search for the Padres and the Nationals. Nothing's up as of yet for tomorrow because this game just concluded in the last hour. But what it looks like is they'll give you like page backers in the WNBA, higher or lower than a half total point. So you'll take that because they're basically giving it to you. And then you pair it with anything else across any sport. So, for example, Major League Baseball, I mean, you can play any game you want. Every game's available at Underdog, including the Padres. Jackson Holiday, let's say he homers tomorrow. And then let's say something else happens. Spencer Torkelson homers tomorrow. Those three things happen, and $10 pays $675. $10. You can flex it, which means you don't even have to get all three right, and you can still win big. So use that promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Get the 50% deposit match plus the free gimme pick by clicking the link in the description down below.
There's a QR code there. Scan the QR code. Download the Underdog Fantasy app now and use our promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP, and start playing today.
And if Vladdy homers tomorrow as well in that combination, $10 pays $2,000. So we could all use.
How many cards that is?
You know, I was going to say, I have been buying. Don't tell Kristen, but she's away and she's not watching the wrap-up show. I promise you that. But I've been buying.
Well, can we let everybody in on a little secret here?
What is it? What is it?
Oh
yeah. Wait, hold on. What do you got?
You are 100% responsible for Tyrese Halliburton tearing his Achilles. And it's like not even debatable.
What did I do again? Remind me, because I already forgot.
You told me that you bought a Tyrese Halliburton card at like midnight the day before Game 7.
And it hasn't gotten here obviously yet. But yeah, I did. I spent $100 on that card.
This is your fault.
It could be. Now, thankfully, this isn't a Pacers channel or everyone would murder me.
Now, again, you bought his card at like peak value. I bet you that card today is probably like $60.
It's worth like $5, dude.
Probably less.
Okay, let me show you what I picked up. Hold on before we get out of here. Because Jim saw this.
Boy. Are these new, or did you show me these today?
I showed them to you today. I have tons of stuff. I don't even know what I have, but this is what I picked up today. I don't even know I buy them, but I just buy them online. It's the greatest thing in the world because they just come in the mail.
Where do you keep these, by the way?
I bought like a case, like that you can flip through.
Oh, okay.
One like for like
a binder?
But like plastic sleeved binder, like a special binder. I bought like two actually.
This ain't an investment for John. This is his PC, guys.
I'm not investing shit. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, let me start with the non-Padre, but San Diego related. And Jim saw this earlier. This is a Rashad Penny flawless 6 of 10. Look at that jersey patch. Look at that. Like the Aztec patch in there. Now, again, it's Rashad. And I mean, his collegiate career was unbelievable. And if he stayed healthy in the NFL, I think he would have been unbelievable. But I wanted it because I'm the Aztec broadcaster and I love all things Aztec. So boom. Okay. But wait, there's more. And I don't even know how I got these, but there's this random Merrill card from the All-Star game.
How did you get this?
I don't know if I bought them or if I won them in giveaways. I think these are like $5 cards, maybe. I'm making it up. Someone would know. I don't think these are worth more than a few dollars. So I didn't spend anything real on these. And then there's this that I somehow got today.
Okay. It's cute.
I pulled a Caitlin Clark Jim base card out of a WNBA pack. I looked, it's worth $21.
Really?
Yeah, because I know, just her base card from 2024 Prism.
Wow, you should get that graded.
I don't know. I need to see what it's worth at PSA 10. It's a good point. So I've been busy buying cards, guys. It's the summer. I don't know what that has to do with it. Jim, do you want to share your secret about the cards you bought before we get out of here? Yes, you do.
I didn't want to, but I may have stood in line for an hour on Saturday morning to get Pokemon cards at GameStop.
You texted me like, I'm standing in line at like Pokemon store. I'm like, what?
I didn't even want this. I didn't even want this.
Me too, Kaylin, by the way.
I wanted a certain pack that they came out with, but they had like 11. And I was like, why do you have 11? And so they sold out quickly, but I was pot committed. I stayed in line and I got a booster pack of Prismatic Evolutions. Like one of the worst packs to open in Pokemon right now because the hit rate is just awful. It's just ridiculous. So I got that, and this is all. I had 6 packs, and all I pulled was, where is it? These are the 2 cards of any value that I pulled, which, again,
what the hell are those?
Not great. But still, I pulled like that and like some like Vaporeon that like, I don't know, it doesn't really do anything. It's a cool card though. But yeah, I waited in line for an hour and a half or an hour and then another half hour before getting the cards. So
what did Aaron have to say about all this?
Oh, she did one, she had no idea. She's like, what are you doing? She like didn't understand. And I ended up explaining it to her, but she was like, why did you do that? I was like, because they wanted to. So now I have all these prismatic. I mean, I just have like all of these, like, I just don't. Again, my mistake. I need to just buy slabs or buy singles because opening packs though, it's like every pack you have is like a mini lottery. You're like, ooh, I could get a big card here. It's the greatest feeling ever. Opening a pack of cards, like, this is awesome. And then you open it and you get that like post rip clarity. And you're like, why did I do that?
Yeah. I was going to say, man, I had a point to make and I forget what it was. Well,
I love ripping packs. And don't get me wrong, even though I didn't want this set, I still like was like a little kid opening them. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Jim asked me today, he's like, would you quit it all? Like your job calling Aztec games and just do a channel where you open card boxes. I was like, well, it's tempting, but no. Like, I mean,
what if you made?
I told him it's a side gig. I'm like, it's a fun side gig, but to me, that's not like a job.
What if I guaranteed you'd make double what you're making now?
Yeah, but you know what it is? No, hear me out because you're the same way. Like what you and I do was never about money. Like you didn't get into radio or like sports because you're like, I'm going to get rich. So like if I've worked half my career and I haven't gotten rich, why do I need to like cash out? Maybe because I don't have money.
Because you don't have money and you want more money and you'd be doing something still that's considered like a hobby but making bank on it.
I mean, would we be making bank on it?
If I guaranteed you double, at minimum, double what you make now.
Right.
Maybe more because, I mean, you've watched some of these card things. I mean, guys making
crazy
thousands and thousands of dollars a night by selling cards and packs. And it's just, now again, these are like business. A lot of them are businesses. It's not just like one person. They have like partners and everything that go along.
We don't know shit about cards.
I know. Like, I don't know. But it'd be dude, I'm telling you right now, that'd be freaking awesome. Just rip packs all night and make a living off of it. Whew.
Let's start a YouTube channel.
We've already started a YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's a problem. All right.
We can't do any more because if we did, then we'd be single.
I'm trying to think though. I got a ton of stuff coming in the mail in the next like 10 days.
Oh boy.
Get ready.
Are we going to the card show on Saturday or not?
Yeah, we're thinking about going to. I listen. Kristen's away, so have I dropped the news? No, not necessarily. Not yet. I haven't shared that. I haven't shared that idea, but I think I can. The problem is let me hear me out, Jim. There's a card show July 5th, the next week, that Jones thinks he's going to because he got like a flyer at Honey Hole in Mission Valley. So can I tell Kristen, hey, I'm taking Jones to a card show Saturday, and then I'm taking him again a week later? She's going to think I'm literally like turning him into like, I don't know, who's a great card investor. Like, she thinks I'm like too all in with him in these cards, which I am, but he really likes them.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go regardless, I think. Like, I'm going to go regardless.
I think I'm going to be there. And we're going to go together.
We're going to probably go together.
The other thing is you're not going to want to go together because Jones, it's going to be intense. He's going to try to buy like a box of like 86 Fleer for like 16 grand.
Like, that's pretty, I want that.
I'm like, find something that's $10 or less. And I'll be like, how about this? And I'll be like, it's $2,100. Like, I know. How about this? I'll say that. When I took him to the card show, I'm like, dude, he's like, I want this box. I want that box. I'm like, no, like, I'll find one for you. I promise. And he's like, oh, what'd he say? I go, has daddy ever let you down? He goes, yeah. I go, when? He goes, right now.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, he's like, yeah, because I'm like, when? He's like, right now, because he wanted everything. And I'm like, you can't have everything.
Wow. You let down your son. Why didn't you buy that box for $2,100? You're an awful father.
I bought him a box of 1990 Donruss for $15.
And I'm sure after you buy it, you're like, man, that's a lot of money.
It was freaking paper. Like the cardboard was it was awful. It was like the worst thing I've ever opened, but he thought it was
Jones
great.
Thinks it's the greatest thing on the planet, right?
He's like, look, we got a Griffey. I'm like, it's worth 2 cents.
But he doesn't think like the pureness of a child
I know
is what has been completely lost by card collecting nowadays. Instead of opening packs for enjoyment and be like, oh, this is a cool card. You know how many times I watched card, and you do this too. They open a pack of like 11 cards and they skip all 10 of them just to look at if the rare or not is worth anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And the kid, Jones, he would look at every card and be like, ooh, this is cool. Ooh, this is cool. And every card meant and means something to him. But for scalpers nowadays and idiots like us, we're just like, shit card, shit card, shit card, shit card, shit card. Like,
yeah, 100%. It is cool to see like the innocence of a child, the way they look. He just likes them all if they're colorful or shiny, or it could be any player in the world.
That's amazing.
You know? All right, guys, let's do this again tomorrow night. If you have not subscribed to this channel, this is what you're missing. Please subscribe. We have year-round content for you in season and out of season. Smash the like button for us. Where are we at on subscribers, by the way? Because
we are almost at 9K. We need 9K like soon, guys.
Or else.
We're at 8763. We are on the road to 10K, and we need your help. So if you have not, there's over 400 people here in the chat still. Why? I don't know. But if you have not subscribed to our channel, please drop us hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 9K here soon, so then we can race to 10K.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get to the super that rolled in. Let's get out of here. JD Gotcha says, Jim, you got to collect a top Series 1 Gen 1 Ash Ketchum card with Pikachu.
Hold on. Let me look this up real quick. What's it called? It's the Topps Series 1 Ash Ketchum Pikachu. Looks like it's okay. A PSA 8 of this card's like $150.
Pick it up. Be a man.
Buy this card ungraded for like $20, and I'm not really a big fan of it. It's kind of blah.
Thank
If
you,
you want to give
JD
it to me,
Guthrie.
I'll take it. But
Do we want to? Johnny D says last 10 minutes of the show should be us just opening packs. The thing is, not everyone wants us to do that. Like, we can't talk cards every night.
and we don't have like unlimited
And
packs
we
to
don't have
open.
pack every day.
No, you know how hard it is to find Pokemon cards packs in the wild? It's literally impossible. Scalpers have ruined, and I mean ruined, the Pokemon, like going to a store and just buying a pack of Pokemon cards. Like they've ruined it. I had to wait in line for this fucking thing.
Hey, I don't know what to tell you. All right, let's get out of here.
Okay.
Subscribe, smash the like button, follow us. You know the deal. If you're here on replay, thank you for the super thanks. Support our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, Hamul Casino, Mova Globe, SeatGeek, Underdog Fantasy. Join us tomorrow, San Diego Sports 760. We'll get you ready for game 2 at 2 p.m. And we'll be with you for 4 hours in the afternoon on John and Jim. You can find us on YouTube, iHeartRadio app, San Diego Sports 760. And then tomorrow night, right here on the wrap-up show, reacting to game 2, what we're not calling a must-win, but is a must-win for the San Diego Padres. All right, guys, appreciate you. Padres lose game 1. We'll see if they can bounce back tomorrow. For Jim, I'm John. This has been the wrap-up show. I'm going to go look at cards.
Me too. Bye.